Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel. I'm your host of LT Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. Today, we are covering Belle Collective. This is Season 7, Episode 3. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, share, and also leave your comments below. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Okay, I do want to apologize to you. If you hear the rain, of course, I can't do nothing, because that's mother. So I apologize, but I'm going to try my best to make sure that you are heard, or that I'm heard. So, and I'm clear. We begin where we left off in last week's episode. Latrice, after Letitia says, why would I call your people? Why do you think I would do that? Because you did, itch. So then all HE double hockey sticks broke out. Ain't nothing happened. Nobody really fought or nothing. Blah, 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 blah. You know what? One thing I'm really getting tired, especially on Belle Collective, with these folks saying, why do I do this? Why would I do that to you? Why would I da 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 da? You have a track record of being gutter snake. You have a track record of being sneaky. And I'm not just talking about Letitia. Even you, Treese, whereas at least seemed like you were sneaky. I don't know for sure. Whatever. Maurice forgave you and wanted to move on for whatever reason. If you were just such the snake or whatever, we wouldn't be moving on at all. But hey, none of my business. Glendale comes outside and checks on Tisha. Letitia wants to know who she's been contacting. Of course, we said last week, one is Josh. So then Latrice calls and says, hey, didn't you say that Letitia called me? Da 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 da. Letitia gets on this phone with Josh and all that. She's saying that she never contacted him. You contacted me. Da 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 da. I'm pulling out my text message and all that. And Josh was like, why are you lying? You did contact me. Why? So it's a he said, she said type of situation. And I don't like it whatsoever. Next thing you know, Glendale wants to pop up and is strangely protecting Letitia. The only thing that was Glenn's responsibility was to do is to say, Letitia, let's go. Letitia, let's go. Sitting up here fighting for your woman with a bunch of women there. It didn't even have to be like that. Just grab your woman and get to moving. But it wasn't that. Somehow, all of a sudden, there became 4 or 5 women against Letitia. And who was that? Because that's what they claimed later on in the episode. So I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Do y'all know the 4 or 5 different women that were doing that? Was Tamara really getting involved? Tamara don't really get involved like that. She got her own side comments and stuff like that, but she don't get involved like that. The only person that she has on her side is Mandy. Selena's not getting involved like that. Shantae was taken up for Letitia. There's comments about, where's Marie? Where's Marie? Blah, 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 blah. And we'll get into that in just a few minutes. And then Letitia had to say something that just let me know how this season's going to turn out. Glenn did say, before we go on there, Glenn did say, you know, you trying to talk with Josh, he's an ex-employee or an employee. You can't win. You really can't, so I don't even know why you're trying. But just like y'all didn't reveal all the text messages and DMs with Mandy, why do I think that I'm just supposed to believe what you're trying to bring forth now? But we'll talk about it a little bit more. But anyways, what made me know how this season is going to end up is for Letitia to say what she said and giving praise to Glendale showing up for her. She said, that's the reason why I married him, because he is going to protect his wife. I said, here we go. Moving on. Security, Shantae, and not Marie coming to Letitia's defense. I think that was Carrie that said that. After they finally went to their separate corners, Maria's asking Latrice, like, why do you think that Letitia wanted to contact your old employees? And Latrice said, I don't know. You gotta ask her. That's your friend. Da 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 da. Latrice, we know why. Because of all that drama that happened last year that did not make it onto the show. with taste. Well, Latrice can't really go and talk to old employees of Letitia. I don't know. It's just, you know what's up, Latrice. Now, I don't know if it's going to come up this season or not, but she tried to bring it up at the reunion. So that's a reason why Letitia would have contacted Josh. And that's why I'm more apt to believe that. So this is the next, what was asked by Mandy. She was like, we need you to be impartial. And if Letitia is found out wrong, can you call her out? And Marie said, absolutely I can. To be honest, I really think that Marie can, but we shall see. And that's shocking for me. Is that it? Because I don't care. Oh, Letitia in her confession was talking about, that's a different kind of hate. You were about to jump her 2 reunions ago. You called her a low, insecure bitch, and you were ready to fight her. All over what you feel like she was sabotaging one of your brunches. And you thought that she grouped you in with the other ladies when she was talking about them, and you were ready to jump her. The next day, Letitia is talking with her executive producer, whatever he is, about the pilot episode. They're trying to make sure they get good edits and all that good stuff. After talking with him, Glenn gets on the phone with her. And she thanks him again for being my protector. And I will always love you. Basically. Glenn said, oh, they were out for blood. Who is they? Can y'all answer that for me, please? Since it's saying they. And oh, people were really after you, Letitia. And I had to be your bodyguard. I want to run to you. I feel like just singing the whole Bodyguard soundtrack because it's like, what? Marie comes over. Letitia shows the only communication that she had with Josh was in March of 2024, which I believe is a lie. But hey. And this was in regards to exposing Latrice after she started cutting him off from things, which we didn't know about. But wasn't that around the time that the collective was trying to collect information about Cliff and Latrice's relationship, thinking that Cliff is abusive, which we all thought he was abusive? I'm just saying. Marie right now is believing Letitia because of the texts. Later on, she's going to talk with Latrice, even though I'm not seeing no receipts. Shantae comes. Shantae got beef with Marie a little bit and is saying, where were you? I was the main one that was protecting Letitia, where her husband was protecting the two, so don't leave him out of it. And Marie said, are you for real? I was the one that was trying to talk down Latrice to stop all this foolishness. What are you talking about? And what all am I supposed to do when there's 4 or 5 people coming for you, Letitia? Who are these 4 to 5 different people? Let me know. And Marie said, look, this is not my battle. When me and Latrice was going at it, you would not step in. So, no, you didn't have my back. And Letitia saying, well, Marie is holding this grudge because of what happened in the past as to why she couldn't really stand up for me. She did stand up for you. Right now, she's not jumping in the middle, taking anybody's side, because, hey, when I needed it, and then also how you guys work out is that y'all will fight to the death, and then you're friends again. I'm taking up for you, and I'm trying to now be on a better note with this girl. You think I'm just going to have your back like that when you didn't even have my back like that? I can't believe that I'm saying that Marie's right. I'm not getting involved with y'all, because ain't no way somebody could be able to be ready to jump me, got up in my face and try to jump me, and I'm still going to be friends with you like that. We would only film this show. Okay, so Letitia goes on to say, look, I appreciate for what y'all did, but I don't need anybody protecting me. But you're in your confessional complaining that Marie didn't protect you. Latrice is throwing a birthday do-over for Selena for what happened outside. This is her apology. She invites over Tamara and Marie. Carrie's not able to make it. And of course, she's not inviting Letitia. Selena's really liking it because was her birthday, and she just needs that good positive energy, and that's what she was feeling during this celebration at her home, at Latrice's home. Marie is there, and they sit down and all that good stuff, and Latrice talks about her blood clots. For what I don't know if she was expecting Marie to come to the hospital, even though I think Marie said that she didn't know anything about it. But anyways, they talk about that and how stubborn Latrice was, because she thought this was just a simple in and out type of situation. But no, there's an emergency happening with your body right now. If you have a blood clot in your lungs, all I got to do is travel up to your heart and you are gone. No, you weren't going anywhere. Oh. So they talk a little bit about this whole Letitia versus Latrice thing again. And Marie said, I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the side of truth. And I'm just going to call it out when it comes. Latrice did not show any type of proof. It's just whatever these folks said that she came. Now, by default, by biasness, I can just say, and I admit it, I believe Latrice. By evidence, there is no Latrice, so you're going to look crazy. You better bring these heifers on camera. If you can, you better bring these heifers on camera and tell them to tell their truth. That's all I can say. All right, so we are visiting Carrie and Matt's home, and her parents give an impromptu visit. Is it impromptu? If you got cameras there, y'all let me know, because I'm just like, I'm happy for them. Like, I don't have no issues, but it's just like, you got cameras there. Unless you knew that they were coming, unless it was one of those things of, okay, my parents are on the way. They told me today that they're coming. And then you got the camera crew there. If it's like that, cool. Miss Eleanor, Carrie's mother, brought by some food that she cooked. She said, I'm tired of my grandchildren eating out every day. And Matt said, me too. And it's because of Carrie's diligence of being so busy with her restaurants and all of that. So Eleanor and Robert are her parents. Carrie says that she gets her tenacity from her parents. They're both entrepreneurs, and they really pushed her to just excel in that area. Her dad was her basketball coach, all that good stuff. They always were in her corner in that way. And that's interesting because their parents are around the whole baby boomer era. So you would think that they want you to just get some type of regular job or you be a Stepford wife. But I'm glad that they instilled something different in Carrie to be something different. But yeah, but it's kind of the same type of mentality though. Work, even in your entrepreneurial state. If you get how they're coming, even though they give some advice that Carrie's not ready to receive right now. It just seemed like that was still their mentality as that whole baby boomer era, but not in the traditional way. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm saying. But anyways, she then talks about this collective that she is with. Oh wait, not yet. They talk about the Mobile restaurant. It's not doing too well. After the renovation, she just thought that it would pop just like the ones that are in Mississippi, and it's not happening in Mobile. And just to cut the what is it called? They just have short, direct answers like, look, all I can say is that you need to decide what you're going to do. And basically just sell it. And she feels like she'll lose money after all that she's invested into it if she does sell it. And sometimes you just got to know when to fold them and cut your losses instead of just stressing yourself out. I mean, if you're not making the money that you're supposed to, aren't you still losing money though? I'm just saying. Then they talk about the collective. The mama don't like that there's some drama going on and all of that. And you need to decide, do you really want to be around these ladies or not? Because if you mess with trash, it'll get on you. I said, okay. I like that saying, and I think I'm going to keep that for later when I need to use it. They did talk about the restaurant, and she said that she has to give it up. But how her parents function is more this tough love type of way of doing things. And in her confessional, Carrie was like, look, I really need some sympathy right now. I mean, you don't need someone trying to tell you 24 hours in a day, oh, you shouldn't have done that, oh, you should do this. No. You need some time of people just being caring to you, instead of just, being this staunch, emotionless type of way of operating. I get it, and I understand, Carrie. Let's see, we're moving on to Letitia and her mother. They go to some ceramics class. She was checking on her mom because she does have rheumatoid arthritis. And then they talk a little bit more about Letitia and wanting to be financially independent from Glendale Pearson. She thanked her mom for allowing her to be added to her credit card. When she first got married to Glendale, her mom told her, look, you're going to have, well, before she got married, but was on the way to get married, you need to have your own bank account. Have your own. And she didn't follow along with that because Glenn wasn't having it. They talk about the recommitment ceremony. Her mom didn't really want to be there because she knows what's going on. I do not understand. I mean, it's your marriage, Letitia, but there's people around you just saying this ain't it, and you still were signing up for it. Now your stepdad is interesting because I think he was supporting Glenn. So I don't know if birds of a feather flock together or what, but he was in support of him last season. But anyways, we got to sit up here and hear about this marriage that by the end of the season is going to be, I'm still with Glenn. That's all it's going to be. Let's see. Letitia said that she was not comfortable at that ceremony, and she just said whatever she wanted to say to appease Glenn at that ceremony. Why did y'all waste our time? It was already wasted because of those sucky episodes. Why did you waste our time? And now you get on this season, it's like, I just hate him. But that's what it is. It's all dramatics. All you gotta do is listen to certain folks and hear what they're saying. Sometimes you gotta tune out all the entertainment, and sometimes you gotta just really hear what these jokers are saying, because they will just really reveal themselves. We find out that the mom has been married for 6 times. And Tisha's saying, I'm not like that. I'm the one that's going to stick through it and work it out. And I can clap my hands to that. After what we see about you, Letitia and Glenn, I can't clap my hands to it. Because he's disrespected you, embarrassed you, and dishonored you so many times. And you still with him. Absolutely not. So the mom has made a plate for Letitia. She said, take this home. And when you decide, because this is going to be symbolic, when you decide that you are through, break this plate, meaning through with Glenn. I said, oh, okay. All right. The mom is ready for him to go. And I'm glad to see it. Like, we've had nobody to speak anything but Marie against Glenn as to how he's been acting. Okay, cool. On to Cliff and Latrice. Cliff is coming back from Colombia, and she wants to prepare a meal for her man. She got steak, shrimp, green beans, and potatoes. She asked Mandy to come over to help her cook. Now, Latrice says that I can cook. I couldn't tell by that. By this episode, I can say that much. She does reveal later on, as far as with cooking, she's not in the kitchen a lot anymore. So I can't cook, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's in the way of you use it, you either use it or lose it. But if you're not cooking every day and it's only random or whatever, you may forget some things anyway. So I don't know. She has some expired butter and some instant potatoes. And Mandy was like, first of all, your problem is for these instant potatoes. I agree. Especially when you say that you're cooking this fabulous meal for your husband that's been out of town, out of the country, for a while. No. Yeah, the potatoes are expired. And Mandy was like, why couldn't you just get some boiled potatoes? I mean, some real potatoes. Cut them up and do the business. Those aren't that hard, though. You could have just had a baked potato if you wanted to and put it in the oven. There's a lot of options for you to do. But the more and more you try to make this meal, Latrice, it don't even sound like you cook at all. I'm just saying. But she had butter expired. If you had those type of things in your cupboard, you don't cook at all. And that means it's been for years that you have not cooked. I don't know. But anyways, Glenn comes home. Mandy greets him and all that. Of course, Latrice greets him. Mandy soon leaves because she's got to go to her job, blah, 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 blah. And they have a seat, and she talks about all the mess that happened at Selena's birthday party and how Glenn tried to step to these women, and she don't like that. Cliff says that I don't have any respect for that. He said, you know, he's trying to do anything and everything to save his marriage. I can't say that that's not true. I have to agree with Mr. Clifford on this one. How do y'all feel? So he's doing anything and everything. Latrice says that at this point, she's not focusing on the Bells and she's just focusing on her health. Last scene for the night in season 7, Letitia, is whom we needed back in season 2. He brings him pizza because I guess they're going to have a little talk. She allows him to kiss him on the cheek, and he's having problems with that. She does thank him again for having her back during the whole confrontation at Selena's party. And he also says that there was a lot of people that were, or was that earlier? That was earlier, but there was a lot of people that were on her and all that good stuff. But I need to know names and bodies, please. Glenn was like, I feel disconnected to you. What's going on with your businesses? Now, one thing that Letitia did say to her mom is that she's intentionally not letting Glenn in on the business. She wants something for herself. And that's a part of her financial independence. We do know from Letitia that Glenn is not happy if she has any money on her own. And then you hear this patriarchy thing that comes out of his mouth. You know, but before we get there, what's going on with your business? My brains, you trying to act like my brains don't work? You're trying to shut me out, but I think let's build together. That's not even your mission. That's not your passion. Now, we're talking about the Pearsons, but wasn't just last season the Pearsons was looking at land to build their own home, and now she wants financial independence? Or was that the season before? It was the season before, because Akeisha was still on it. Y'all, if they would just stick to the script instead of making up a new script every season, y'all can believe it and think that this is real. And that's not the vibe that she's really on as far as building together. What happened to this truck business? See, this is the thing. You weren't trying to include Letitia on your endeavors. When you bought that truck, you weren't asking her anything, because that on that day y'all was looking at land. She got upset when you finally revealed that you had bought a truck and you're getting into the trucking business. Now, you did include her in on, oh, you could be the administrative person, you know, be the one to book my drives and orders and stuff like that. You be my bidder. Then Glenn says something very misogynistic. It seems like the only time I get your attention is when I have a paycheck or you're horny, or you're horny. So you see the system that they've been working by for a very long time. It's been this Stepford wife, and she had to butter him up to probably get some things because he really ran a tight ship on the finances. And you're trying to treat her just like you do need her, like she does need you, and there is no other option, sir. He feels like Letitia is setting things up for just in case when I do mess up again. And Letitia said, you're right. And anybody should. But are you doing it for the camera though, Letitia? You almost had a oops baby. And you still stayed. The same, what was it? The same, oh, what was it? The same-ish. I forgot what was said right then and there. I wrote that. Same-ish. I don't know what it was. It's just like, he said something about going to the bathroom. It's not the same every time you go to the bathroom. He was trying to use that analogy, but I forgot what it was. But anyways, we're almost done. Glenn says, am I not enough? No. He says, well, look, you got this investor type of situation. Right now, Letitia has a secure loan. He says, well, I know men like that, and you're going to owe him something. And he's not talking about money, saying that she's going to have to sleep with him. Sir, you trying to do anything and everything just to be manipulative so that she can stay under your thumb. If Letitia would just go on and just say what she needs to say to this person, go on and rip the Band-Aid off and just say that you are a misogynist pig who wants control over me. And you can't stand it and I'm breaking free of you. Say that. He's going to get mad. Anyways, while you sitting up here researching loans, I need you to research how to trust your husband again. Stop doing stuff to make her mistrust you. And then Letitia says that I want to be celibate. And he's like, what's going on? I think he even said, you want me to cheat? I think he said that. Sir, you already cheating. Now you're going to be able to try to use that against her if you're not giving her sex. Even though in a way, I could still see that as a valuable fight, but we know that you're a whore. Letitia says, I want to be celibate because I need clarity. Meaning, I don't want to be demythized anymore by you. And I think if I wasn't demythized for so many years, I would have left your tail a long time ago. Then Glenn ended up wanting to leave because he's so pissed off about it. I heard Letitia says, if you leave, I'm done. What? Whatever. That was the end of the episode. Yeah. I wish this Letitia showed up in season 2 and I might believe her. But weren't they just collabing, signing contracts together? Or I just don't understand. 1 minute you're fighting for your marriage and you're fighting other people for your marriage. And now he totally discussed you, which he should have disgusted you. You should have been in disgust of him years ago. This is quite similar to Nene and Greg. Even though some of y'all think that he walks on water, Nene said out of her own mouth, she was going to leave him again until he got sick. And we know what was going on in season 3 and season 4 between those two. So yeah, well, season 2 through 4. I'll just say that much. Yeah. So whatever. I'm not impressed, but we shall see in the next episode. They're already going on the trip. That's all I do have. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Until the next one. Peace.